in existing or improved work processes, okay, or activities, so that basically you can get stuff done. All right, so that is the idea of work gamification. Now, because this is an actual gamification thing, we're actually doing work gamification. So here's what we've got. In that, okay, which is basically all of you guys, you're going to be giving some feedback, all right? So go ahead and I want you to give some feedback in the chat related to things that are basically supportive, fun, focused, energized, or interactive. So if you just interact, you get a point for interactive. If you're being fun when you interact, you get points on fun. If you're very focused on the topic at hand with your question or your idea or statement, you get a point for focused. And of course, if you're just generally being supportive, okay, you will get points for being supportive. Now, at the end of this presentation, we're actually going to be giving away some really cool prizes, including some gamification software, okay, that you can use immediately. All right. So first of all, okay, would you like to win? Just go ahead, type in yes into the chat if you would like to win. Okay. Just type in a yes in the chat if you'd like to win. Okay. So you that have typed, okay, you are already just right there. You are getting on the, your names are being immediately included into the system. All right. Now, okay, basically, according to the American Psychological Society, okay, Association, sorry. So one of the key factors that make us motivated in our job is essentially feeling valued. All right. So feeling valued. That means that it's not necessarily that you get recognized. It's not necessarily that you, do things. It's basically that you feel valued. That's essentially one of the key factors. All right. So, how do we feel valued? Well, basically it's through measurement. Now, let me ask you a question. So, okay, how many of you are on some kind of social media, whether it's Facebook or whether it's Instagram or something? How many of you are on some kind of social media? Okay, so just go ahead, let me know in the chat, okay, and just name the social media that you're on. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on everything, LinkedIn, whatever it is for you, okay? So now in these social media elements, okay, you are literally getting measured, okay? Consistently, you are being measured. In fact, right now, because of the PFB era, post-Facebook era, okay, all of this element of value of yourself and your business and your life, your self-worth is being gamified online. It's turbocharged. Okay, you remember before it used to be like you'd go to the office and maybe you go to the pantry and, somebody would say, hey, that's a great report you did. And it's like, okay. And, so all of, and then somebody would share that with somebody else. And then, of course, other people would comment on your report or your promotion or whatever. All of that was part of your social value. Okay. And of course, that made you feel valuable, and that sense of value, okay, was measured by your peers. Now you're on LinkedIn, you're on Facebook, you're whatever, okay, and you are literally being measured through social media. Now, the reason that social media has taken off like it has is because we want to see what's going on. We want to see how many people like us. We want to see how many, people are commenting. We want to have that interaction, and we want to get that sense of value. Okay? So, we are looking for social validation. Now, in life in general, we do things like comparison, and, we're also go on social media, look for inspiration. It's like, wow, yeah, I can do that, or that makes me feel better, or, that motivates me. So you're looking at the way to control your impression. Social media allows you to control it because you get to choose what you want to show. You get to show all the cool stuff about your life. It's like, whoa, look at me. I'm just sitting at the swimming pool sipping my Mai Tai. Okay. And you get to show the part of your life that basically is managing an impression so that, okay, and that makes you feel good, right? Because you're in control. We like to be in control. All right. Now, there's a lot of other things, even though, let's say, for example, social media in our business. Okay, if you are self-employed, if you're part of an organization, that element of social media does affect, the impression of your business. And that impression of your business is directly related to your value as the ability to make it grow, make it better, make it noticed. Okay, so we're still connecting a sense of validation, personal validation, even with the strategies we use for our business. Okay, so all of this stuff basically gets us to feel that we are doing the right thing, or in some cases, not on the right track. And so therefore, we often change our strategy. Or if it's just something that seems like it's too hard, we just give up and we just like, this whole social media stuff doesn't work. Okay, now, why is that important? Because that's gamification. All of this is gamification. Social media is gamifying your life. So, okay, so give me some feedback on what you think about, okay, how gamification, okay, is gamifying your life. Do you believe that? Yes or no? Is social media gamifying your life, or at least the lives of most people? Yes or no? Just let me know in the chat. Okay? So, now if, okay, you know anything about brain chemistry, okay, one of the things that happens is that you get dopamine. Okay, now, here's the thing. Dopamine is a misconception. See, a lot of people think that dopamine, what do you think dopamine does? Okay? What does dopamine do? All right, just type it in the chat. Let me know what you think dopamine does. All right, what does dopamine do? All right, so you've heard that it's the happy drug. Well, okay, yeah, partially, but it's not actually. It's actually the anticipation of getting something. It's not about when you get it. It's about the possibility of getting it, which makes things exciting. Okay, so when you are in a situation where you are recognized, that gives you the potential, I might improve this. But it's not just about recognition. So see, a lot of times people think, recognition is the key to gamification. It's not. It's only one element, okay, because there's so much more. So much more. See, what happens is that we have to anticipate getting something, all right? Now, essentially, we want to constantly be getting our drugs. Now, I'm not going to go into this in too much, but consider this, all right? First of all, okay, if you are going to be getting dopamine, that means that you have to have some kind of an objective. You have to want to go somewhere, or at least discover what you want to do, or something. There is some goal, some objective, something that has to be there. All right. Now, the other thing, of course, is that that the potential result should be at least somewhat clear. The more clear the result is, the easier it is to kind of see that you're making progress towards it. Okay, and that's an important factor in any kind of gamification. Let me know. Okay, let's say, for example, has anybody ever played a musical instrument? Just type yes if you've played a musical instrument. Just type yes into the chat. Okay. See, I play the violin. Okay, no, let me rephrase that. I attempt to play the violin. Now, violin is pretty cool. I like the violin. Now, I have this idea of what playing great violin is because, I watch these violin players on YouTube and, and stuff and like all this stuff they do, and it's like super cool. I like that. I like that sound, right? Now, I started to play violin and like it's like a cat, scratching on the chalkboard. It's not really pretty. Okay, but what happens is that eventually I started to get it to the point of where I actually got a song. It was a simple song, but the point is I got a song. And see, once I got that song, now I could see the potential of doing something else, which motivated me further. And this is where basically it is important that you believe you can achieve the result. Okay? And of course, when you're involved in the design of the process, okay, so for example, in learning violin, I was involved in how I was going to get to that ultimate goal of being able to play violin. Now, I'm not a great violin player, but the thing is that I still practice playing violin. And because of that, I am consistently getting better. But it's not that easy to stay motivated unless you have some kind of defined objective and you see consistent progress. Okay? Now, remember, if it gets too hard at one point, it's very easy to give up. That's why you have to be able to make it easy. Okay? So, if you have some kind of a backup plan, or at least the feeling that you have a backup plan, it's like, well, a violin doesn't work, if this process or this thing doesn't work for playing violin, I can always maybe just do it in a different way, or maybe I can play piano, right? So these are different ideas that we want to have so that we can have a sense of getting our dopamine drugs, okay? Now, this is the gamification value index. Remember, we're talking about giving up, okay? If it's too hard, you give up. So that means any gamification, you know how most of these gamification things, have you ever been involved in a gamification system where you got these people and like it's always the same guys at the top? Always. They're always on the leaderboard. You got like these same people on the leaderboard all the time. Have you ever been involved in something like that? Okay, so just let me know in the chat box, okay, if you've ever had a situation where it doesn't matter what you're doing, okay, but you're just not up with those other guys. Or maybe you are that other person that's on top and you're always on top and the other guys seem to never be able to catch up. Has that ever happened? Okay, now what do you think happens with the people that's like, they just can't get to that level of win state? Do you think that they eventually stay motivated and keep trying? That was a question. What do you think? Do they keep trying? No, they don't, right? They give up. And this is important to know because anytime we're going to be creating any kind of a gamification system, okay, you got to create a system that doesn't basically, or that has built-in resurrection in it, okay? Now you notice that all these games that you played like Call of Duty and Ark Survival and all of these things, if you die, you get resurrected. Why? Because it gives you another chance to succeed. And resurrection is a key factor in creating any kind of a gamification process, which means the amount of time and the levels, okay, have to be easy enough so that somebody can start again and show some progress. Okay, so you got to create a system that basically helps most people, okay, if they try, to at least get some kind of win state. Okay, and so this is where the people with low confidence, now they can start to grow, okay, and by seeing their progress. And this is the key, being able to help people to see some growth, meaning some progress in their in their gamed state, okay, or whatever it is, okay? So that means whether it's sales, whether it's cross-departmental cooperation, whether it's being a better leader, it doesn't matter, okay? Creating something that is going to show you progress and get everybody involved in finding a way to get some progress. And if you don't make progress this time, no worries. You got a chance next week or in 2 weeks when the resurrection cycle starts over again. Okay? So, now, what happens is that once you start to see, okay, where you are, you start to get this kind of anticipation, right? Now, you've got this anticipation of, oh, maybe this time I can get it, or, maybe I've got it in, I've got a little bit on this other thing, so maybe next time I'll be able to get on the main board, right? Okay, so that anticipation of what it could be, of that you actually can win. Key factor, you have the feeling that you can win. At least something, somewhere, okay? And then, of course, that reinforces the competence, which of course gives you validation, which basically gives you a sense of completion, which creates more anticipation of the next level. Same thing with violin, right? So in the beginning, I'm like this, but I got that little bit of progress, and that little bit of progress created anticipation of maybe finishing that one song. And then once I finished the song, that reinforced the competence. Wow, I can at least finish the song, even though it wasn't great. Okay, so let me know what you guys think about that. All right, okay. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt that you could that once you started seeing progress, that kind of remotivated you? Type a yes in the chat if you've ever had that. Okay. So, okay, earlier we had Daryl that was talking about gamification and emotional drives. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the emotional drives, but I'm going to go into two emotional drives. All right. So first of all, the emotional drive of diversity and change. Okay, so Daryl was talking about that. This is basically something different, right? Something different that happens. Now, you also have the emotional drive of security and control. No, I don't want change. I want things to be the same, right? Now, these are kind of opposite sides. So what happens is that anything with diversity is fun. Okay? Anything with diversity is fun. I want you to think about this. Let's say that you are does anybody here like surfing? Anybody here like surfing? Okay, if you like surfing, let me know. Okay, let me know if you like surfing. Just type yes in there. Okay, if you don't like surfing, that's okay. Just tell me you don't like surfing. All right? Now, what if you were a surfing instructor? So Tim says, yes, I like surfing. Tim, what if you were a surfing instructor? And you have to surf every single day. And you have to take these people out and surf every single day. It's not going to be as fun, right? Because what happens is that it's no longer diverse. It's no longer something different, right? This is why, okay, people like to go shopping. They get to go shopping with their friends, so they get a little bit of love and belonging, but that's that diversity, unless you're a professional shopper, okay? Now, I know that somebody's going to say, yeah, my wife is a professional shopper. Okay, don't go there. Okay, so the thing is that we get to have an opportunity to have something different, okay? And then when we get diversity and change and we mix it with maybe some achievement, some growth, okay, some recognition, some different things, it makes it more fun, okay? But then, of course, we have that element of security and control, and this is where fear tolerance comes in. See, it's important in any gamification system that we create, you deal with a person's fear tolerance. If you have a high fear tolerance, that means that basically it's a lot easier for you to have fun. Okay? If you have a low fear tolerance, it's like, oh my gosh, what if something goes wrong? It's like, let's say, for example, you like staying at home and watching TV, and your wife says, oh man, hey, let's go dancing. And you're like, oh man, dancing, oh, I don't think so. And your wife says, no, come on, let's go. And she pulls on you and it's like, oh, okay, I'll go dancing. And you don't want to do it, right? Okay, and you're like, ah. And then you go dancing and you actually have fun, right? See, what happened is that your fear tolerance may have been low in the beginning because it's like, oh, I have to get out, and like whatever. You're out of your comfort zone, okay? But the moment you got over there, you actually had fun because it was diverse. You got the love and belonging. So all of this affects the ultimate element of fun. Now, remember that fear tolerance deals with change, okay? High fear tolerance, easier acceptance of change. Low fear tolerance, low acceptance of change. Okay? Low acceptance of change, more difficult to have fun. So you got to create opportunities for people that have a low fear tolerance to still have that element of safety and have fun with some diversity. Okay? So remember that the enemies of fun are essentially the enemies of engagement. So basically, high or a low fear tolerance is going to create a problem with the potential for fun. Now, one of the things that is important is trust. Okay? Because if you don't have trust in an environment, you don't have a safe environment for you to be able to gamify work. Which means that people might think, oh, I shouldn't be seen to have fun, because like sometimes they have these notions that having fun at work is bad. Have you ever noticed that some people think that work is supposed to be really serious? Anybody ever experienced that, where they think, no. Okay, if you're going to work, you can't have fun. It's serious, right? You're not going to be productive if you're having fun. And people sometimes even get annoyed if you have fun at work. Okay, even when you're actually doing work. Have you ever noticed that? Okay, just type in a yes if you've ever noticed that, or a no if you haven't. Okay, and so what happens is that we need to actually create a sense of fun, okay, or a sense of trust, but in order to create more fun. Now, in order to do that, okay, we're going to look a little bit into colored brain. Now, colored brain essentially deals with the ambiguity relief process. Now, those of you that understand directive communication psychology, you definitely know a little bit about colored brain. I'm not going to go into it in depth because I just want to give you an idea of what we're talking about here. So, first of all, okay, colored brain, or the brain's ambiguity relief process, basically deals with clarity, how your brain gets clarity. Now, how your brain gets clarity largely affects the levels of trust that are created. For example, let's say, okay, you have one process of getting clarity, which is an action process. In order to get clarity, you need to essentially take action. So let's look at the chaotic processing. This process, literally, in order to get clarity, you need to take action. You need to move. You need to connect with people. Say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? You need to constantly get feedback moving forward in order to get clarity. But let's say, for example, now you have somebody that has essentially linear processing. Well, linear processing is about structure. No. Okay. In order to get clarity, I can't move until I see the clarity through the structure. How does it fit together? Where do all the pieces go? Okay. What is, where are the big pieces? Not the detailed information. Gosh, they don't want the detailed information. They need the structure of what you're trying to achieve, right? And so with that structure, okay, now they can find a way to put it together. If there's already a structure there, great. That makes it very easy. If not, they have to figure it out or create structure, okay? And that's how they get clarity. But see, for example, let's say I've got chaotic processing. It's like, let's go, let's do it, man. Let's start doing it. And the other person who has linear processing, they're going, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Okay, and so therefore now you're creating a disconnect. And because of this disconnect, what you're doing is you're creating a barrier to trust. Why? Because you're judging each other. Now, you may not be judging each other in a conscious way, but let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a situation where you're talking to somebody and you're going like, okay, this is how to do it, and you're explaining it very clearly, and you ask them, do you understand? And they go, yes, I understand, and you're feeling really great. And then they go and do something completely different. Has that ever happened? Go ahead and type yes if that has ever happened to you before. Okay? So, okay, yeah. Okay, so why that happens is because, you start thinking, oh my gosh, this person is an idiot, and you start judging them, but you're not doing it on purpose, and you may not tell them, I think you're an idiot. But the thing is that is affecting how you trust them, which also affects the kind of tasks that you give them, how you explain things to them, even your tone of voice, okay, when you speak to them, which affects that level of trust, which affects engagement, okay? So, the other one, of course, the other clarity getting process, the other ambiguity relief process is relational processing. Relational processing. Now, relational processing is all about, okay, details, how everything essentially is connected in details, right? So everything is always connected. So the moment that you just start getting the details, boom, 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 okay, it just connects. Okay, they're not looking for structure. It's just the details themselves create options, and those options basically create potentials to move or do whatever it is that they need to do. So they get clarity through data, details, and information. Now, the next one is intuitive processing. So this is about having that kind of access to your subconscious experience. Okay. So now, because you don't know where it comes from, it appears to be intuition because you don't know that you know stuff, right? It's in your subconscious. You experience stuff like a year ago or maybe 5 years ago, and it's still there, but you don't know that it's there. And so, you see something that triggers that, and it's like, well, gosh, it just feels right. And people, ask you, well, why does it feel right? And you say, no, I don't know, but it just feels right. And you can't explain it because you don't know where it comes from. So what happens with the blue brain is because they have this stronger connection to subconscious experience, okay, it is called an intuitive process, okay? And they get clarity through essentially reflecting on things. Now, because you've got these different processes, okay, of colored brain, you end up losing the potential trust if you don't understand how people are doing things. Because, see, if you are intuitive processing, it just makes common sense that this is the right way to do it. If you're linear processing, it just makes common sense that you should have the structure, okay, and the clarity before you start moving. If you're green brain and chaotic processing, it's just common sense that you should just try it, because if you're not, obviously you're wasting time, and that's how you're going to get the clarity. And see, all these different people have these own ideas of common sense, and so therefore you end up subconsciously judging people that don't have your kind of common sense, okay? Which creates barriers to trust, which creates a environment where gamification isn't really good. Now, one of the things that we want to be able to do is create a game language. Now, here's, for example, just in colored brain, you can say things like, oh, my red brain's working overtime, so I need to kind of get clarity first, right? Or, hey, don't mind me, man. I'm just doing my green brain thing. Okay, like, relax, man, dude. Okay, let's just do it. Okay, Nike, man. Okay, and so, you've got like, oh, hey, I got to get my blue brain team members, to help me out with this one, because, now you're using the language and you can communicate better and you can respect each other because you don't have brain racism, which is going to help you to create more trust and more engagement and get ready for better gamification. Now, inside of the colored brain system, what we literally have a complete system here that gamifies your communication. So inside of the system itself, you go in and you can see everybody else. You can even see who's in your danger zone, and you can click on how to improve your relationships, how to improve leadership with these people, how to improve synergy, how to communicate better, how to improve productivity. It's all in there, okay? And you can find out more at coloredbrain.com. And if you take your fear tolerance, okay, and you combine it with colored brain, then you literally are improving your fear tolerance. You're increasing your fear tolerance because now you have more awareness of what's going on. Okay? So, the other way to get more trust is the no blame zone. Now, okay, because we're limited time here, I don't want to go into that. But, okay, if you go to noblame.zone, you can find out all about the no blame zone and set it up in your organization. Okay, so let's just kind of look at what really makes gamification work, and it's measurement. Now, there's already measurement. Remember, we're being measured on social media. We're being validated, okay, as to, different types of value. But right now, we're already experiencing all kinds of measurement. I mean, you see it in advertising. You see it in little things that people put after their names. I mean, it's like, oh, I'm PhD or MBA or CBS or, whatever. I mean, everybody's got all these little things, and you've got, like 30-minute delivery, okay, or you've got the 10-day challenge. I mean, you've got all these types of measurement, which essentially are gamification, okay, to a certain degree. I mean, think about it, okay? PhD is better than MBA. That means, this is a level. So people are spending tons of money to get a PhD. Why? So they can go to the next level. And they get that sense of fulfillment from that because, oh, look at the level I've reached. Okay. So all of this is part of gamification that currently exists. Now, one of the main elements of work gamification, okay, especially in a larger organization, is going to be related to organizational culture. So in organizational culture, we have an entire system where you can benchmark your organizational culture. And then once that culture is benchmarked, now this is where you have the ability to now check how your culture is doing. If you have benchmarked your culture, and let's say you're at the blame culture, which is the lowest culture available, and suddenly you start to notice, oh, hey, we're improving our organizational culture as an organization. Do you think that people are going to be excited? So let me know if you think that people will be excited if they get culture, if they see their culture improving because of various initiatives. Let me know, okay? Let me know what you guys think about that, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Right now, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to share with you, okay, what's going on. So right now, we've got, Tim, we've got Judy. Okay, so right now, these are the people who are in the lead, okay? And looks like we've got, looks like Tim is in the lead here, okay? Let's see, we've got Kevin and Tim right there in the lead. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Tim and Kevin are tied right now. Tim and Kevin are tied for the lead position. Now, let's see what happens now. Okay, because we've got Judy is following behind Tim and Kevin. Lily is in last place. Sorry, Lily. Okay, and of course we got Agus and Shiva in the third position. So let's see, okay, what happens as we continue. Okay, now let me ask you a question. How do you feel? Okay, I mean, you kind of like, how do you feel now that you've seen your position? I mean, is it kind of like, ooh, So this is what happens now when we start measuring things, right? Okay, and then when we add time into it, here's the thing with gamified measurement. Okay, the faster it is, okay, the more effective it is. Okay, why? Because we're basically impatient creatures. Okay, if you can get more consistent measured time, what happens is that you literally end up getting more emotional gratification. Why? Because that dopamine starts getting your anticipation of what you're going to get. Okay? And that's important. So, okay, we've already kind of like checked our measured behaviors and stuff. And, okay, let's go and see if anybody has added any additional things really quick. Let's just quickly check, see what do we got here. Okay, now, it's still the same leaders. It's still Tim and Kevin. Okay, but we got Judy catching up. She's moving up there. Okay. So who else is coming up? Okay, all right. You guys are now starting to get a little bit more competitive, I can see. All right. Okay. And here we go. Okay, so let's look at the different types, okay, of levels that we need to measure at. All right. So first of all, you're going to measure in any gamification thing. You're going to measure individuals. How well are you doing as a person? But see, you also have to measure the team, right? Think Harry Potter. Okay. So if I forgot the names of the houses, but whatever. Anyway, so if one house, if one individual got points, that added points to the whole house. Okay, if one individual lost points, that reduced point from the whole house, right? Okay, so that means that the team is equally as important for measurement in a gamification process. And then, of course, remember, we're also adding the organizational culture element, right? Okay, because we want the entire organization to have that sense of measurement. So now you're measuring on 3 different levels. People get more interested, more excited, okay, because they're being hit at different levels, okay? And it gives more chance for people to win at different levels, right? So that means more people can get involved and more people feel the potential to be win state. More people feel that anticipation. And of course, you know, we've got different sections and different things that different themes that we can apply that are going to also help to, you know, change the teams that win in some cases, and sometimes the, you know, individuals, right? Okay, so individuals, teams, okay, and organizational culture. So this is where we got squadly. This is important because, see, a lot of people, they measure KPIs, all right? KPIs take a really long time, okay? Results take a really long time, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to measure behaviors, all right? And like I said before, the importance of resurrection. So what we're going to do is we're going to reverse engineer, okay, the behaviors, all right? So that means that if we're going to be using Squadly, what we need to do is, let's say, for example, we want better leaders. We want to gamify leadership. So what are the behaviors that you would need to be able to do in order to be a better leader? You can't wait for somebody to be a better leader. What are the behaviors in order to essentially achieve being a better leader? You want to achieve better customer service. What are the behaviors that are going to help you to get 0 complaints? Okay, you want to have cross-departmental cooperation. What are the behaviors that are going to help you to achieve that? Okay, so I want you to just think about this. Okay, reverse engineering the ultimate goal into behaviors allows you to check every single day. Because if you have consistent, regular behaviors, ultimately, you're going to get that ultimate result. If I practice the violin every single day, that is a behavior, even if it's for 15 minutes, okay, I will eventually be a better violin player. Okay, so by measuring the behavior, I am now setting myself up for the ability to be measured every single day. So what do you think about that? Okay, in your opinion, how much better will that work if somebody was measuring you on a daily basis rather than having to wait for an annual review or quarterly review, or whether you're basically just kind of doing your stuff, right? Okay, so that's a very important factor. Okay, so and the importance of resurrection, you got to be able to start it. I recommend restarting every week. Okay, and Squadly allows you to set that up. Okay, so here's the overall gamification process. Okay, set goals. Okay, and then you identify the behaviors that are related to those goals. Okay, identify the emotional drives, create a theme. Remember, themes are important. When Kevin was talking about the program that he was doing, he's got the secret agents or the agents and the centuries, and you know, all of these themes make it fun. It takes you out of reality. Okay, and then of course you've got to create your game structure and then design the rewards for win state based on achieving the behaviors. Okay, now you can also add in achieving the results, okay, but that's extra. Okay, get people to do the behaviors, you will get the results. And of course, get the game partners. Sometimes it's not just the people in your team, it's not just the people in your department or in your organization. Sometimes it's your vendors. Sometimes it's also your clients or your customers, right? And that brings us back to measure everything, okay? And when you're dealing with creating organizational culture, okay, then you're going to basically get all of the goals connected to creating a better organizational culture. A better organizational culture. Okay? Now, okay, the thing is, though, that a lot of times people think, oh, the management should set the organizational culture and identify all this stuff. Okay? Well, no. Okay? In order for an organizational culture system to really work, it has to be bottom up. But what happens is that all the senior managers start to freak out, right? Okay. But see, these are predictable outcomes. Okay. I can guarantee you that most of the time, okay, and even if it's with a little bit of tweaking with, some of the psychology processes that we use, okay, the people are aligned. What the people want is aligned with what senior management wants. It just needs to be defined in a proper way. Okay, the ideal working environment where we have basically asked in 57 different countries, you've got teamwork, trust, clarity, a supportive environment. Teamwork, basically, working together, trust. I want to be trusted to do what I can do, and I want to be able to trust people to be accountable. I want to know where I'm going. I have clarity. I know that I am supported by, different managers at different times. I can go to the finance department and just basically ask them for help. Okay. And of course, fun. These are things that people across 57 countries, doesn't matter what age group, what generation, what job position, what education, what culture, this is fundamentally what everybody wants. And let me know if you think about this, is this in line with what you guys also want? Is this in line with what you guys want? Okay, let me know. Do you think this is in line with what you guys want? Okay, and so basically, the bonus that you get for doing this culture is you basically all of the maybe not all, but many of the nagging problems that you currently have in your organization will be solved. Okay, why? Because the people know what the problems are, and they don't like the nagging problems either, and they are on the front lines, and they have better ways of solving them. Okay, so the pandemic is the best time to solve this because now you can also create gamification, create more with any kind of gamification initiative. You can create innovation, connection, okay, which basically creates more engagement, less anxiety. You've got more hope from people of what's going to happen, what can happen. Okay. And of course you get more personal sense of value. Okay. All of this basically, you've got the case studies on Game On. Don't forget to get the book on Amazon. Okay. And well, basically that takes us to the work gamification game. Okay, so this is the world of Performancia, and as Kevin mentioned earlier, Kevin's team was instrumental in building this online. And now we also have this as a certification program where you can not only learn how to use this game, but learn how you can apply this game in any organization to improve their organizational culture and help them create games to gamify their work process. This game literally helps you to help other people gamify their work process. Okay, so if that sounds exciting, just give me a yes and give me some thumbs up in there and let me know what you think. Okay, because this is super cool. And of course, we have to make gamification or work gamification or creating gamified work environments fun, right? Because if we have to actually practice what we preach. Okay, and so all of that, basically anybody that, if you want to have something with me, you are welcome to come and just send an email to support. And that's all I got. Support at Directive Communication. You can see that in the chat. August is typing it in there right now. And that's what I got for you. And hello, Lily.
Yeah, well done, Arthur. Well done. Really fantastic session. Can I get all of you who are out there, please give Arthur a clap of hands?
But wait, we got to find out what actually happened. Let me share my screen really quick and see, what's going on here. Okay, with the leaderboard, it looks like Kevin is the winner. Woo, 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 woo. Tim coming into second place. Don't worry, we're going to give Tim and Kevin a free subscription for 1 year to Squad League. Okay, the Squad Commander, which basically gives you unlimited team members and unlimited teams.
Well done. Congrats to Kevin and Tim. Well done. Wow, you got a free gift. Ooh, wonderful. Wonderful. Right. So anyone out there, do you have any questions? Would you like to type out your question to Arthur now?
Give us some questions. Give us some questions. Okay, any questions? Come on, we got some questions. Let's get some questions.
Okay. Okay, I think Judy did type something here. How can we use the online version? She did type
Okay,
here, which
so
I assume is referred to Performancia, right?
Yeah, the online version of Performancia. Okay, so there's the physical version where that you can literally lay this big giant thing on the floor and you can play it with real human beings and stuff. But of course, right now in the pandemic, and also you've got cross-country type of organizations. So the online version is accessible. Okay, we're actually, so first of all, if you're a certified colored or Performancia trainer, okay, you will be able to access this inside of the back end of your system. Now, if you are certified with the in this, okay, all you need to do is just get the codes, and you can use the system anytime you want with your clients. Okay, so that system is in the back end for the gamification program.
Okay, so it's something that's ready that people can buy it, Arthur?
Yeah. Kevin has actually just finished it recently, and for the application and use right now, the new, because it's been upgraded, right? So we did this one with 200 people about a month ago, which was really fun because we did it with 200 people that didn't really speak English very well, but they still managed to have a lot of fun doing it online. And now we've improved on it even more, or actually I should say Kevin and his team have improved on it even more. And so now the new version is ready online.
Wow, that's good. So anyone who is interested, please do tell us, and just write the email to Arthur, right? Or just now at support@directivecommunication.com. Okay.
Yeah, and if you want to be an online work gamification trainer, certified trainer, we have the program coming up on the 27th of December. Okay, and of course, if you're already certified in word gamification, then you can also get the upgrade with and be an online trainer for a largely reduced price.
Okay, that's great news. Okay, come, let's look at the comment again, and we have one question from Kevin. I'm not too sure what is he referring it to. He said, "How often do we reset?"
Okay, so wait, Tim, how often do we reset? Okay, the resurrection. See, resurrection is important, okay, right? So you're talking about, in my opinion, 1 week, maximum 2 weeks. Some people do months, but a month. But I would definitely never go beyond a month. See, the thing is, okay, let's say, for example, you're doing Squadly, right? Okay, so and I'll answer Tim's case studies question at the same time. So basically, when we have implemented work gamification efforts into different organizations, what happens is that one of the reasons that they have failed in the past, because a lot of them, like, okay, for example, we've done work gamification with Osram, which is one of the CDDCI clients in Malaysia. Now, see, one of the things that they have always had, one of the gamification elements that failed before was because there was always the leaders. They were always like on top, right? But when you have different behaviors, see, for example, you might have the main board, but then you also have people that, like, you've got innovation and you've got assertiveness and you've got these other behaviors, right? So what happens is that when you create multiple behaviors, you have an opportunity to literally be number one in innovation, even though you're not on the main board. Okay, or maybe even you're number 5 in innovation, even though you're not on the main board, but you're in the top 10 for innovation. So you feel like, wow, at least I made something. I'm in the running. So again, that creating that anticipation. Okay, and so when we've done Performencia, okay, now the online version is new. Okay, but we've been doing Performencia with organizations for what, 4 years now? Okay, doing it in their organizational cultures, and the people themselves create the game. You, as the facilitator, just need to make sure that they do it in such a way where they're not going to set themselves up for failure. Okay, by creating things that are just going to be points driven and stuff like that. So the game literally creates all the little bits of structure and helps you to put it all together. And the facilitator, of course, has to understand the psychology behind it so that he can help the groups to create a game that will be sustainable.
Okay, thank you. And I think we have another question. Okay, comment from Kevin says that new version is ready. That means yes, we can do it. Yeah. Yeah, we have one question from Siva, and he's asking, how do we deal with top bosses who do not believe in gamification, and they are the decision makers?
Okay, so the top bosses that do not believe in gamification, first of all, what they do believe in is statistics and case studies. So if you, I mean, you know, this is, if somebody honestly doesn't believe in gamification, I mean, you know, just look at the case study that Daryl presented. I mean, the Salesforce. Salesforce is not a small company. Okay, it's a international company. Okay, Procter and Gamble, not a small company. Okay, I mean, all of these, you know, we're talking huge organizations that have implemented gamification. Some of them have failed. Okay, you should like Disney had, interestingly enough, tried some gamification stuff, but they forgot some of the human psychology elements of it, and they screwed it up and even got some bad PR for it. But you're looking at huge organizations that are implementing gamification successfully and really achieving some greater results. So when, you know, if somebody says, oh, well, you know, this gamification stuff doesn't work, well, gosh, you know, if it works for Procter and Gamble, how big is your company? You know, it's not a. There's tons of statistics online and case studies online for various types of gamification. Ours just happens to be faster and easier because we can literally help a company to create a gamified work process in 2 days. Okay, well, most of these organizations will take like 6 months to put it together and spend a lot more money doing it.
Okay. Yeah, Siva says, thank you, Arthur. We share the data, right? And the case study results. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, before we close.
There is
yeah, go ahead.
I will there just one more. There is I've just put together a new document on our website. It called the ultimate guide to work gamification. I don't know if you can try searching it on Google. I don't know if it's there yet because it's just up last week and it's still kind of being tweaked. But I've got tons of actual large corporate statistics and case studies in there that you can look at.
Okay, great. So time is running up. Well, not to say that we are ending. All of us can still, after Arthur's event, you can still see him and you can still interact and talk to him at the lounge or arena, Arthur. Do they go to the
No,
lounge?
no, we're gonna go now. We're gonna go to the lounge. We're gonna go to the lounge, and this now you can have mini masterminds. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Is let's say you have a problem. Okay, we are gonna help you to solve your problem. Or okay, whoever's in the group. So we want to have maybe about 3 to 4 people in a group, so we can have like a little mini mastermind and help each other to solve actual problems that you may be having related to work gamification or training using gamification.
Okay, good. So, shall we move to the lounge?
Okay, so that's it. So with that, everyone, we're going to be, make sure that you go over here to let's get into the lounge, okay? And you are ready to go within that area. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, see you at the
Okay,
lounge.
bye bye.
Bye.